it is better not to have the in-laws live with you. But the real reason why I left Canada was to run away from my in-laws. They never liked me before they even met me. And I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that your daughter was marrying a black man. My father-in-law, he grabbed a knife, a stab in my face. The guy was literally trying to kill me. My kids were crying, screaming. A lot of things placed through my head, how I was sexually abused as a kid. Outside you're happy, but inside you're screaming, needing help. You're unable to do it, and that's how I feel. That's how it's been for me over the past 2 years, and it's gotten to the point where, it's gotten to a point where I thought I was doing okay, and I was just holding it in and destroying myself inside. I've been haunted by my father-in-law. I get nightmares of that day. Hi guys, it's been a while that I posted something. Well, not that long, but a lot has been going on in my life, and I thought it would be a good idea for me to come out and talk about it, and share my story. Hopefully, someone can learn something from it, or take some pointers out of it. I'll get more into the details, but again, my therapist said it was a good idea for me to record it and put out there for my healing process. And it has to do with the real reason why we moved to Mexico. Yes, there were other reasons why we moved to Mexico that I talked about in some of our videos, right? Like the pandemic and all of that. But the real reason why I left Canada and moved to Mexico was to run away from my in-laws, really. Marrying my wife, or first when we started dating, they never liked me before they even met me, right? The first day they met me, they were really cold towards me. They wouldn't really say hi to me. My mother-in-law wouldn't even look at me in the face. And I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that your daughter was marrying a black man. They are Ukrainian and Russian. But again, it never bothered me. I am comfortable in my skin. I am happy to be black. I am proud to be black, right? So nobody can say or do anything for me to feel a certain way being a black man. I am hardworking. I'm not from the street, if you want to use those words. I'm an educated person, right? So you hating me just because I'm black, you're the one, you have a problem, not me, right? Anyways, we planned our wedding without them because they said they were not going to show up to the wedding. On the day of the wedding, they showed up. After not talking to my wife for a long time, my father-in-law shows up and walks her daughter down the aisle, which was kind of awkward because they didn't talk and for a while, and all of a sudden you show up to the wedding. Anyways, we moved to Vancouver. We stayed in Vancouver for almost 2 years, and we were having our first child, Iris, and we decided to move back to Toronto and be close to family. My mom and the husband and her parents. So we bought a place my wife bought a place then in Milton, and we were there So my in-laws would come, spend the weekend sometimes once or twice a month, just to be around helping and all that, so which we really appreciated. Then we were expecting our second child, and because of our work, we lived in Milton. For those who know Canada or Ontario, we lived in Milton. Milton was about 20 to 30 minutes drive, depending on the traffic, to Mississauga, where we worked. So we decided, you know what, let's buy a house in Mississauga and let's move to Mississauga, and my in-laws my wife wanted my in-laws to come live with us, right? So we bought a really expensive place, a really, really nice house. It has an in-law suite, they call it. So I never wanted that move, but my wife really wanted it, and I wanted to make my wife happy, and I gave in. And it was a big problem having them moving with us. It was all dramatic and so much for them to move. So they decided, you know what, okay, we'll do it. So they lived in a garbage place in an old apartment in Scarborough, in an apartment, right? And now we're upgrading them, and it was a big problem. So they moved in. It was so much headache for us, so much headache for them to live with us, and I honestly didn't like it, but they were helping with the kids, right? They were helping watch the kids and all of that, but at the same time, they were giving us so much heartache. There came a point where, now this is me not going into too much details, and this story that I'm telling, not every one of my friends knows about it, right? So it's really the first time I'm putting this out there for my healing purposes. So back to the story, we said we've had enough of them. This was after 2 years of them living with us, because they were just causing us more problems and more problems. So I told my in-laws, I'm like, guys, this is really not working out. You guys are not happy, after everything we've done for you guys. So since you're not happy, it might be a better idea for you guys to probably go back where you were before, so that you'll be happier and all that stuff. And ever since then, it got really bad with them. My father-in-law turned into this monster. He started insulting me and all that stuff. And there was a time where we told them, we gave them a year, use this year to find a place so that you guys can go ahead with your lives and not be bothered with us and all that stuff. And they didn't do anything, but they kept on causing problems for us. So it got to a point where it was like, okay, you know what, we're done. So we thought about things to do. So we said, let's sell the house and find them something else, just options so that they can move. We called my in-laws for them to come upstairs for us to talk and, let's brainstorm and see what we can do about them finding a place. And my father-in-law said he was busy and he couldn't make it. He wanted a majestic invite, a presidential invite he wanted. And the day he said he was busy, he was at the backyard having a drink. He's a drunk. So he was drinking. He didn't want to meet with us. Anyways, we saw that, and they later came and they were like, okay, what are we talking about? So we told them, okay, what we're going to do is we're going to sell this house. We're going to buy a small place and move you guys there until you find a place. And they went crazy. My father-in-law started insulting me. Like, he came in my face and pointed his hand, spitting in my face and saying a whole bunch of nasty things that I should pack my things and get out of the house, that I can't take care of my family. He said a whole bunch of things, throwing the F-bombs at me. And like, I didn't say anything. I was shocked, right? I'm like, wow, like, okay, I wasn't expecting that. So I got really angry. I'm like, you know what, guys, I've had enough. I'm selling my house. You have 3 months to pack your things and leave. So during this time, when they went downstairs and it got bad, I started preparing the house, damages, paint, and all that stuff. I would say to my father-in-law, like, hey, I need to come check this so I can fix, and in the basement or in your in-law suites, fix to prepare the house for sale. And he would say no, that I'm not allowed into his place without his approval, that I can't go into the place without his approval, which it's my house, and he wanted to treat it like a tenant landlord situation. So I would give him 24 hours notice and he would still say no. And things just started getting bad from there, right? Worse. It got to a point where I brought my agent to take pictures, and the agent brought the camera guy, and I gave my father-in-law a week notice that I'm coming to take pictures. So the agent came with the camera guy, and we took pictures upstairs, and we went to the in-law suite to take pictures too. And as we were walking in, he says, "You're not allowed in here. I don't approve of it." I'm like, this is my house. I can do whatever I want. I'm selling it. I gave you notice that I am doing this. So he blocked the entrance, and he was walking away, and I was gonna go through, right? Then he blocked it. So we both hit each other. He's a big guy, tall, big, fat guy. So like, we hit each other and bounced off each other. And my mother-in-law saw it and picked up the phone, called the police right away, and said, there is an intruder in the house. The landlord, or whatever she said, was assaulting my husband. So within minutes, the cops, they came. And I went downstairs, I went outside, and the cops started talking to them, saying what happened. And they gave their side of the story. And the cops came to me and said, what happened? And I told them, I'm the owner of this house. I gave them over a year's notice that I was looking to sell the place, and they didn't move. And I gave them another 3 months, and I told them I was going to take pictures. And this is what happened. I was trying to go downstairs, and my father-in-law bumped into me, and my mother-in-law called you saying I was assaulting him. So the police officers, they saw the whole story. They saw the whole story. They knew what was happening. And they told my in-laws that what they did was wrong. You cannot call the police and lie that someone is assaulting your husband, or that is her husband. That this is your son-in-law. What were you thinking? Like, if this was real, like, what we would do is we would just take him, arrest him, and he would never see his family again. Is that what you want, right? So the police told them, he is allowed to sell his house. You cannot do anything. Just come to an agreement. The police, they left, and my father-in-law sent me an email that same day saying, so according to what the police said, that you need to, for lack of words, you need to kiss my ass so that I can work something out with you, which wasn't what the police said. The police said I had my right to do whatever I wanted. I didn't take the pictures. I used old pictures from when we bought the house, and we posted it. The house was sold. And we told my in-laws, and it was time for them to move. They started looking at places, and all of a sudden, one Sunday, I woke up, with the family, and my wife went outside with my son and to the back, and I heard her screaming. So I went down and I said, what happened? And she told me she was talking to the mom, and the mom said they cannot move. While we had already sold the house, then people were looking to move in soon. So, and they were going to stay for another 3 months, and they don't, like they're not paying rent, they're using our water, utilities, and all that stuff, right? So I was like, no, I'm sorry, that's not going to work. We've already given them more than enough notice, and they can't stay any longer than they should. It's time for them to go. I waited for my father-in-law to come home. I heard him come in. So I went outside, and he waited for me he didn't want to talk to me, so he waited in the car. So I closed the door. He came out of his car. He started walking in, and I came out, and I was like, Anatoly, I heard you guys are not moving, and this place is sold. And before I would finish my sentence, he started throwing insults at me and throwing the F-bomb and all that stuff. And he went in and slammed the door. I was like, heck no, I'm not gonna take this nonsense from you, So I went down, and again, respectfully, in all my dealings with them, I show respect, right? So I'm like, just tell me when you're moving out. This was when I went downstairs. Just tell me when you're moving out, and so we can get things ready to move out for the people that are coming. And he started pushing me. I'm like, oh, here you go again. Why don't you call the cops and tell them I'm assaulting you? And from nowhere, I saw my father-in-law. Well, from nowhere, I didn't even see it. He grabbed a knife. We were in the kitchen. He grabbed the knife, and the first thing was a stab in my face, right here. And he's a big guy. He pushed me down, holding me down, and the first stab went here, and he started going like this, and I was shocked. And he stabbed me. The other stab, he was trying to stab me in my head, because he was doing this. So the first one went in my face, close to my mouth. Then the other one went here, because I was blocking the stab, whatever he was doing. Then the other one went in my hand. The guy was literally trying to kill me. And these were people we've done everything for. We've not done anything wrong to them, and for you to hate me that much, that you want to kill me, your daughter's husband, your grandkids' father, you want to kill him. I was really shocked, and I was screaming while he was doing this. My wife ran down, and she saw the blood everywhere, and she saw my father-in-law, pinning me down and trying to do this. So she came and was like holding his shirt, like, what are you doing? Screaming, crying, like, what are you doing? So I don't know how. Somehow I know this was God's work. I grabbed the knife away from him. I don't know how I was able to do that. I grabbed the knife away from him, and I pushed him away. And, right there and then, I had this feeling of stabbing him back. Self-defense. I had this feeling of stabbing him back, but something was like, it's not worth it. Just, you already got the knife, take it and go outside. So once I grabbed the knife and I had that instinct, stabbing him in his neck, I was like, you know what, it's not worth it. I would be the one to lose more. So I ran upstairs. As I was running upstairs, my kids, they heard the scream downstairs, and they saw me, blood all over. So the stab that I got here at first, he stabbed into my chin, pulled my skin, and he was trying to pull it out like this. So my hand pushed him out so that he doesn't rip my lip open. So my kids, they saw the blood all over me, blood covered. And I told them that is okay, it was just an accident. And my kids were crying, screaming. So they went into their room. I went outside. I threw the knife far away where he can't get it. And I called 911. And the lady started talking to me. I told the lady I was stabbed in the face by my father-in-law. And she was like, "What? Your father-in-law stabbed you in the face?" So she sent in the cops. Within minutes, there were like 20 cruisers there. They came and they arrested him. I think I have a clip of that. I will find it. They arrested him and they took him away. And they started asking questions and they took their whatever they needed to take. Investigators came. They checked everything, took pictures. So the ambulance took me away to the hospital because I needed stitches. So the detective, they came to the hospital and they were asking, like, why, what happened? And I told them the whole story. They were shocked themselves, and they were saying, like, I look like a decent guy. I don't have any records. I've never been arrested before. I don't do drugs. I don't smoke. They were shocked. Like, it's not like you're a bad person, you're a good person. Like, why would your father-in-law do this to you? He's a narcissist, right? It's all about him. And if it's not about him, then you're his enemy, So the officer, white guy, was really upset and said he can't take this. And he said, "You're going to press charges." So I told him, I don't want to press charges. I just want them, if they can help me, have them move out of my house. That's all I want, but I don't want to press charges. His family, right? I don't want anything to happen to them. Just have them pack their things and let them get out. And apparently it doesn't work like that in Canada. Whether you want to press charges or not, it's the Crown that presses charges. So they took on the case and they said they're pressing charges either way, whether or not I want to. I'm like, well, you guys do whatever you want. I don't want to press charges. So he was in jail for a day or two. No one went to bail him out. So there is a company, there is an organization that bails people out for things like this, where if someone doesn't come to bail you out, then they will bail you out and care for you and all of those things. And he had a restricting order not to come. I can't remember how many meters away, close to me and my family and all that stuff, which he still did. He still came around. He didn't come to the house, but he came around, right? So I had to get a baseball bat because you never know. He's a psycho. He could show up one day trying to finish what he didn't finish to kill me. So my mother-in-law. So here's the other thing. While all of this happened, I had big bandage, everywhere, my face stitched up. My mother-in-law never said, "I'm sorry for what my husband did to you." She felt what he did was right. That was the right thing he did. So there was no, "Dominic, I'm sorry for what happened. Please forgive my husband." There was nothing like that. The day she came to pack her things, she was looking at me and she was asking me, "Can I get access to the house so I can pack some things?" And I looked. She never even asked about her grandkids. She never asked about her daughter. How are they doing? So this should tell you guys the type of people they are. So I opened the door for her. She went in. And I was like, "Tatiana, let me talk to you for a minute." I'm like, "Your husband almost killed me for the fact that I did nothing wrong. And you see all these stitches in my face and you cannot utter the words, 'I am sorry for what he's done.'" I'm like, "Let's put me aside. Your grandkids, your daughter, have you thought about how they're feeling after all the pain you guys have caused. And she was like, oh, this, that. She never said sorry. I was like, you know what? It's not worth it. And I made a promise to them that day that they will never, ever again see their grandkids. My kids will never know who they are, and they don't exist. And I still stick to that promise I made to them. They will never see their grandkids again. This is me just cutting the whole story short. We're waiting for the court. They reached out to us to testify. And I told them I'm not coming back to Canada anytime soon. So if they want me to testify, I will do it over Zoom or any other way. But I'm not coming to Canada to do it. And my father-in-law apparently has been insisting that he wants us to come back to Canada. He was defending himself. He wants us to come back to Canada to testify. He wouldn't accept us testifying over wherever we were. And I was like, why does it matter? Like, he's such an idiot. So apparently he's gotten a defense lawyer that's telling him you can't do that. Like, it's not your call, right? So that's one of the main reasons why we moved to Mexico. It's been over 2 years now, and ever since then I haven't been the same. I've been in the dark. I smile. I put this pretense, for people to think I'm okay. Like there's this video where it's like outside you're happy, but inside you're screaming, needing help, and you're unable to do it. And that's how I feel. That's how it's been for me over the past 2 years. And it's gotten to a point where I thought I was doing okay, and I was just holding it in and destroying myself inside. Unfortunately, it's gotten to a point where when I went back to Canada, I got help. I got help with a therapist who's been helping me a lot, and he's helped me dig a lot from my past. Things I never told my parents. How I was sexually abused as a kid when I was like 6, 7, 3 times. So many things that he helped me pull out from my past, and I'm still doing it. It's been a rough journey, which he told me it was a good idea for me to do this, to share my story. I've been hunted by my father-in-law. It's like, yeah, we're far away, but it still feels like he's still in my head, living there. I get nightmares of that day, and sometimes it feels, I just get in a bad mood where it's like I wish I had killed him after I took the knife away from him. But again, I know that was the best decision because, being a black man and you killing, you stabbing a white person, the cops wouldn't even look at the whole story, like, oh, a black guy killed his father-in-law and all of that, right? So I'm happy I didn't do that, but at the same time, I still get haunted by that day. What if I had killed him after I got the knife? Or what if he killed me? Because a lot of things plays through my head, and especially that day while he was like doing the knife multiple times, I remember the detective saying that, why don't I want to press charges, that I don't know how lucky I was that the knife that got here Could have been my nose, could have been my neck, could have been my eye. And the multiple stabbing he was doing, that yes, I blocked most with my hand, but it could have gone through my head and I could have been dead, right? So I get all those nightmares and I get little triggers. Sometimes I'll be walking down the street and I think I see someone that looks like him, my father-in-law, and I get into this mood. I just isolate myself, and I've been hurting inside, and I've been holding it, and it wasn't the best idea holding it in. I should have gotten help a long time ago, which I never did, and I guess it's too late now. I mean, I'm still getting the help from my therapist. I'm still talking to him. He's still helping me, live again. That's my story so far. But one thing, if you're still watching, one thing I will say is mental health is a serious matter. It's a very, very important topic. For Africans, it's like when you tell someone you're going through some mental health problem, they look at you and they laugh. It's like, what stupid mental health? But it's real. It's real. It can mess you up badly. So what I say is get the help you need. Don't listen to people. Get the help you need. I even have some friends who I know they need help as well, but it's just not normal to them, right? To society, it's not normal to get help. Some people are even ashamed of it, but it is real, and I am still working on myself. I am still getting help so that I can be better again and be a better person. So the other lesson is, if you get married and your wife or your husband is saying, let's have my parents come live with us, please run away from that. It is better not to have the in-laws live with you. Very, very important. No matter how close you guys are, once they live in the same house with you, you guys see each other every day, you will drive each other. I mean, they had their own separate units downstairs, but still, you still saw them every day, and it is a bad idea. You guys will drive each other crazy. You will hate each other no matter how much you love each other. And it will damage the relationship. So I say a definite no to having your parents or your wife or husband's parents live with you guys. I don't want to stop my YouTube vlogging. On the days I'm not gonna have the kids, I will go out in town and I will continue my vlogging and see if I can bring in something different this time. I will try to meet as much people as possible and make new friends and share all of that with you guys. And down the road, I will give you guys an update on how I am doing. But again, please, friends, it is very important. I will say it again. If you need help, please get help so that you can feel better soon. You can be a better person for yourself, for whoever you're gonna get married to, for your partner, whether you're married or not. It's important to get the help. So that's my story. yeah, I don't have anything much more to share. Please subscribe to my channel. Please like. The more likes I get, the more my channel will be shown to other people on YouTube, and the more I can grow. And yeah, thank you again. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will see you on the next one. Ciao.